Hello everyone and welcome back to the Borderlands 3 show. I'm Mike. This here is my bandit friend Dan. Dan, what game are we talking about today?
I think we're talking about Days Gone, that zombie game that came out a few months ago on
Perfect.
the
So
PlayStation.
Days Gone by Ben Studios came out, I believe it's February 10th of 2019. It is the, I think, 11th best-selling game of the year, so pretty good so far. Oh, that's not the game we're talking about?
No, yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. This is the Days Gone show. I think this is the Borderlands show, right?
Damn right it is! And today we are talking about Borderlands 3. The day is finally here,
Yeah.
Dan. We all broke down crying, pulled out our you-know-whats, gave one out for the great Vault Gods.
Dude, I left early. I left work early to come home a couple Fridays ago when this thing came out, and it wasn't there when I got home. The Amazon guy hadn't delivered it yet, but he did like a half hour after I got home, so I was pretty excited.
Yes, Dan here has not entered the 21st century. He still gets his games delivered by this jungle service I've heard of.
What? I'll tell you what. The metal case that came with the physical copy of the game is pretty dope.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, this is the Borderlands 3 show. The show where we rank, review, and talk about all the games in the Borderlands series. We're going to give you a heads up now. We have both beat Borderlands 3 and done a decent, actually, as of now, almost all of the endgame content. We still plan to probably revisit that at some point in the future and talk about the DLCs whenever they come out. So here we're talking about the main game. Obviously, spoilers. Obviously, everything's on the table. So,
Yeah, in fact,
go on.
the only thing that's not on the table is, you know what? I don't know where I was going with that one. So let's keep moving.
AJ, do not cut that part out. We're going to leave like an idiot. Thank you. Okay.
Fine.
So my normal stats I have for the series, okay? Our old stats were that there was 43 million units series of sold for the series, right? Was our original stat going into Borderlands 3. The number I have seen most recently, they said in 48 hours, this game sold 5 million units, which puts it probably now somewhere in the low 50s for the series, which for sure makes this one of the most successful series of all time. They announced the series has now made $1 billion in net bookings. It is the fastest Take-Two game, which, to put in perspective, that includes GTA and Rockstar in that number. Any Rockstar game. It is 50% more copies in the first week than Borderlands 2 did. And it is the most successful game ever on the Epic Game Store. So I'm going to say this game was a physical hit. Would you agree on that one?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of just like people buying it, yeah, this game was a hit.
So we're there. This game obviously was released in 2019 of our Lord and Savior. Made by Gearbox.
That's how the saying goes, but okay.
And published by 2K. Dan, give me your top level review of Borderlands 3.
I don't know where to start. It's a really good game. I think it really improves on a lot of things in Borderlands 2, but I think it falls short elsewhere. It's definitely, if you like the series, I mean, it's Borderlands. You're gonna probably love this game. It did a couple of things that I wasn't a fan of. I'll be honest. I have some bones to pick with this game, but overall, I think it's still a fantastic game. I'm excited for all the end game stuff and the add-on stuff they're going to be delivering. Because I already have sunk tons of hours in this game, and it has me wanting more.
So I tend to agree with you looking at it. This is where it's tough for me in the idea of, is it a better whole package? I think, and I'm going to stick with this, from a moment-to-moment gameplay point of view, it is better, but that's because they literally went, here is the old gameplay, and we just added more to it. Because there's the vaulting, there's the climbing, and there's the dashing. which feels like nothing on face value, but fundamentally can dramatically change how you play this game.
It's so much fun. I love like especially sliding around. Like holy shit, that's a great call. Way to go, Gearbox.
Which is funny because like on paper you'd be like, does that make that much difference? And you're like, yes, in the moment it does. I think
Just like
go on.
it's just something, you know. It's just like it's like dolphin diving in Call of Duty. Like, did it really ever give you a ton of stuff to like? Did it add much? No, but was it cool as hell? Yes.
It's one of those things like that. It also is. I think we could both agree. There is technical issues with this game.
Yep. There's a couple of those.
We were literally just playing, and Dan just lost his audio for 10 minutes.
Yeah, the whole last bit of the game, there was my controller was vibrating, and I think the only sound I had was like chest opening.
It'd be real funny if I wish it was one of those games where some stuff came from your controller, so it's like dead silent for you, besides like noise from your controller.
Actually, that happened once in the Lord of the Rings game, and that has really great. I think it's Shadow of War, really really great controller sound effects. And when the sound goes out in that game, and you just have your controller coming out, it's scary.
So yeah. So you we both playing it on Pro, right? Or no? Are you playing on regular PS4?
I have a Pro.
Okay. What mode are you playing on? Performance or like the resolution?
I believe I have it on performance.
Okay, me too. Because I have heard resolution mode is hot trash.
I haven't heard good things about it either. I think I tried it at one point for one of my games, but I'm pretty sure I switched it back.
But in general with Borderlands,
I think I would notice if I didn't.
Because like there's little stuff that we need to talk about. Like when I opened the menu for the first time. I'm sorry, that's how long it takes to open the menu. Is that dead silent right there?
God, it's honestly opening the menu in this game is miserable.
This game,
such
you
a
live
chore.
in the menu. That's the problem.
I know. Like the menu should be a seamless transition from world to menu and then from pages within. But it's like, dude, if I picked up a gun and I wanted to compare it to another gun, it takes like 30 seconds, and that should be like almost instantaneous.
Like, if you told me to like, if you got to do like a fun paper mission to back end load it's one thing. The issue is it freezes.
And it's just like, and I'm especially in co-op, you can't stop in like the middle of a battle and quick do something.
Right. Which we were doing a mode we'll get to where it would have been nice if you could have done that easier.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Okay, so that's our top level. I think we're both lukewarm to positive, depending on the part of this game. So now I think
Definitely more positives than negatives.
I agree. It just I think when you get compared, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So this game, as we talk about every time, the big lure of this is the characters in the game. We had 4 Vault Hunters this time. We had Amara, Flak, Mose, and Zane. I played Zane, and Dan played Flak. I've poked at both Amara and Mose. Not as much into them. Dan,
I haven't touched any of them other than Flak.
Okay, so let's start with Flak then. Can you describe to me what is this Flak character?
Flak is dope, dude. He has he basically sacrifices one of his abilities to have a pet that's constantly out in the field. Definitely, I think we discussed this earlier. My favorite pet is the Jabber. I think he's the most effective out of all of them, but I haven't really tested the Skag too much. And then out of the Rack Attack and the Fadeaway, which are the 2 specials I've tried, I haven't used Dominate yet. Fadeaway's awesome. Just quick, I think it's 5 or 6 seconds, and every shot is a critical that you do on an enemy. So he's a bit of a tank, very helpful. His pets are incredible. They can revive you, they can distract enemies, they can kill enemies. So, he's super dope. And everything that I've been reading makes it sound like he's probably your, he's the game on easy, as we've, to use a reference that we've used before in the series.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you have Flak. I played as Zane, who is our fun little. I'm trying to think how to describe it. I think he's probably default soldier is the best way to put him on like what he is.
Well, no, I think Mose is probably more soldier. I
So
think
what
he's
would you
probably
call
more
him?
like
Assassiny?
he's like a mix of like Zero and Mordecai, but like more techie.
Hear
know?
me out, and I'm gonna ask you because you're Irish here. If this sounds offensive, okay? He's like the Boondock Saints.
I'll be honest. It's a little offensive. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody gives a shit about the Irish.
Damn right. Okay, perfect. So he's part of the Boondock Saints. Okay, so his whole shtick is obviously he has 3 powers like everyone else. So he has a drone, which is kind of like Wilhelm's drone. He has Zero's clone basically, but he's still on the field. What's nice about it is the clone's shooting, and then I could teleport between my location and the clone's location back and forth about every second. And then I have the shield that could pop out that will protect us, and then I can upgrade this shield so it like puts us in a dome. What's nice is we can shoot out of the shield, but bullets can't shoot into it.
Super effective.
Busted beyond belief at points is the best way to put it, I think. So yeah, that's Zane's whole things. I find Zane very fun. I think Zane's specialty, I'd argue, is crowd control.
I would agree with that.
Because it's literally like pop a shield in a spot and then pop down my clone and just kind of walk away quickly or like go kind of like bolt back and forth.
It's definitely been it's been pretty helpful, at least in terms of like most like close combat situations with you.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think that shield is probably the best, and the clone is pretty. He's like my pet. He's great at distracting.
Mm-hmm. No, so he's better at damage because the end of his skill tree is. It used to be he just gets a pistol, where the end of his skill tree was he copies whatever gun I have out.
And that's probably pretty dope.
And what's real
Especially
nice
if you
is
get like a sick rocket launcher or something.
and if I have a Maul one that could hot swap between the 2 types, he chooses based on the enemy he is what it is.
Art seriously?
Yeah.
That's actually really sick. I didn't think that. It makes sense, but I wouldn't have thought that happened.
Yeah, no, so he can't switch. That's his only gun, but he could switch the mode.
Which, if you got like a corrosive and a shock or something like that, would be super effective depending on the enemies.
Right. So that's kind of, I think, another thing is I don't think we could talk about Moe's as much as Amar as much. I kind of want to talk about, actually jumping into that, is some of the bigger changes of the game here, and I think one of the big ones is the enemies. Because, so Borderlands
100%.
1 was basically bandits and some soldiers. Borderlands 2 was bandits and robots. But, like, there was kind of this, like, soldiers, like, the soldiers versus, like, the Hyperion guys were a jump, but not that. Like, there are jumps there, but, like, you still had the bandit consistencies. This game just throws enemies out the fucking book when it comes to thousands of new types. What is your kind of, like, take on, like, these new enemies, and maybe you have, like, a favorite that you like to see and stuff?
Honestly, I think it's super cool that, like, enemies are more unique now. It's super dope, like seeing like what is your bandits now. It's like there's men and there's women, and they have different hairstyles, different skin color, different like body types, and so it's like there's this. You really do feel like you're fighting an army of like more than just bandits, right?
Yeah. Also, like the bandits are like now part of this cult, which we'll get to with the 2 enemies, and eventually they get to like upgrade them. Yeah. The bandits, there are moments I just don't I don't even recognize these bandits half the time.
Oh my, well, and while we're talking about types of bandits, I guess I'll answer the first question. My favorite new enemy in this game, favorite one to fight is probably, what are they called? I'm losing it. I'm blanking on the name.
Describe them to
the
me.
dinosaur things.
Oh, yeah. There's like the T-Rex is your favorite, or
I forget what they're called, but there's the mini T-Rex Saurian thing.
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
has got like armor damage or
oh god,
like armor on.
I hate those guys. It reflects stuff too, like bullets pop off of it.
Yeah, It's got like bones all over its head and stuff like that. And the tyrants are pretty cool too. Those are the really, really big dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm really hoping, and this was kind of talked about it since Gearbox has said they're not releasing new Vault Hunters as DLC. I'm hoping they add new skill trees to existing Vault Hunters.
I
And
was
if they
thinking
do,
that.
I really want a Saurian pet.
I was like, I wonder if they're gonna do something like that.
That would just be, oh god, dude, to run around like a little T-Rex dude. Shit. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be very cool. But can we also talk about the Anointed on Mayhem for a second?
Can we just talk about the Anointed?
Hard they are.
God, so you meet the Anointed when you're in the middle, as we'll get to on different planets. In the middle of Eden 6, you meet your first Billy the Anointed, which, in a patch note, they cut his health down by a quarter, which is good for future people. Holy shit, these Anointed.
Good for future people, not good for the people that spent like an hour trying to kill him on your own.
Holy. It's so like they're like basically majority of the time they're basically big Goliaths, and that's on face value. Giving me a Goliath a lot of health isn't the problem. It's stuff like how he can teleport everywhere, and then he has like a blast if you don't jump over that like knocks your shield out.
Don't forget the ones that can, for like the majority of their existence, be totally immune to damage while they do an attack.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, hey, I'm unloading on this guy. Oh, he's immune. Let me switch to an L. Oh, he's immune to that too. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll just stay here for 20 minutes and duke this one out.
So a dumb animation thing I actually really like that they do is the whole like they turn into Iridium at the end.
That I mean, it kind of gives you like a little added reward, you know.
But it's also
kind of sick.
But it's kind of interesting. Of like, why is it that once you do that they turn into Iridium? And I feel like it leaves a bunch of questions to me.
Why? Why do you say that?
Like, does that mean, in theory, if they wanted to power a vault, they could have just changed the world into Iridium?
Well, no. Let's not go asking questions like that, because then we're gonna, eventually we'll get to how come in Borderlands 2 Hyperion didn't just stop using the new U station to keep you from respawning.
Okay, but that's a like world constraint of like Jack just loves money. The villains in this, which I think we're here now, okay? We have Troy and Tyree in the villains, okay? Not the brightest bulbs in the bunch. We're gonna start there.
Okay.
So what we learned the first time he anoints someone is what you think we'd learned when they turn to Iridium, and they need Iridium to charge the vault, right? Why wouldn't they just take their entire army that's just brainwashed to them and just turn them all into Anointed and have them kill each other?
I think you don't want to get rid of your entire army. I mean, obviously,
Why?
Like when Tyreen becomes the destroyer at the end. Spoiler alert.
Not just a destroyer, the same destroyer from Borderlands 1.
Oh, there are qualms with that, but we'll get there eventually. I feel like you need an army because it was obvious that the Vault Hunters were like still a pretty major threat, even with the Anointed being around. So it's like I think you still want your army.
Okay, I'm sorry. Half the Anointed. Because they're still Anointed, so they're twice to 3 times as more powerful.
I still think my point stands.
But also, okay, so we have Troy and Tyreen. So basically, they're both, as you found out, they're both sirens, right?
Yep, bingo, gringo. You hit the nail on the head on there. They're both sirens.
Which is weirder because apparently they were conjoined twins.
So now I have a theory on this.
Go on.
Yeah, they were twins, but really, I think Tyreen is the siren.
So what is Troy?
I think Troy was just a normal dude. And then he only gets the siren powers because he was around Maya when she died, right? And Tyreen is able to give power to him. That's why he's constantly asking her for hey.
See, my understanding was
I don't think he was a siren.
The phrase that she used when he took Maya's powers, though, was, I thought you can only take from me. She didn't say I can only give to you.
Uh, man, I don't know, man. Just because we know that from, the Iridian slabs, that the whatchamacallit, the siren who like killed the Iridians
Mm-hmm.
locked herself in that vault.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Typhon de Leon opened the vault, that's how the baby got the powers.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't know how two of them would have gotten the powers.
That's what's so weird because in my head how it worked was they were conjoined twins, which my question would be if they were, do they count as one siren or two?
I just don't think I still don't think that he was a siren.
Okay. Well, he becomes a siren at one point.
I can come back to this argument as I play more of the game and formulate that hypothesis.
Right. So he becomes a siren during the campaign. So you're facing two sirens eventually.
Yeah.
So like the part I don't understand is so Tyreen, the whole goal is she's gonna become the god. Besides when Troy lets it get to his head, which the game frickin' tells you 10 hours earlier. And like Troy literally kills his sister, he thinks, to try to become the god himself.
Same sauce on his part, by the way.
Yeah. Which, also, they are streamers. It's like their whole shtick, which I think on face value, it's not a bad ploy for a like grand villains in this world.
No, dude, honestly, I think it's such a cool shut up, Chief. And doing a podcast, you don't need to bark. Anyway, I think it's a really cool shtick for villains because it's like it's pretty relevant to today in like this influencer culture.
Mm-hmm.
Truthfully, I'm just kind of disappointed. I feel like they were very underdeveloped villains, and I think they're, especially in comparison to Handsome Jack, they're kind of just like crappy.
Yeah, that's also when I go to now we're talking about them is I don't. So this whole game, I think we're talking about too in general when we talk is we both kind of enjoy the story in this game, and I do not. So there's this weird undercurrent of people complaining that like the game's just more immature, which I do not think is true in the slightest. I just think it's not as strongly written.
I definitely think it's a little bit lazier writing,
but it's not more immature, and that's what I don't understand with people. I'm like, no, the game didn't change. You might have changed, but the game did not.
I think it's a little bit more immature. There's definitely more poop references.
Okay, but did Borderlands 2 is full of poop and sex references. Like that's kind of like the shtick of it. It's comedy style.
But it feels a little bit like more in this game. Like I'm not saying it's like bad. I'm just saying that to me it feels like they were relying too heavily on it as opposed to like Borderlands 2 where there was plenty of other really funny moments that didn't come from stuff like that.
I wonder if partially is maybe that feeling comes from I think we both agree the writing at points, like the plot kind of drags on at points, or like when you go to like Promethea and the twins just disappear for 8 hours, you're like, where did they go?
And like I said, I think it really all just comes down to that the story is not as well written as Borderlands 2.
Mm-hmm. Which
you can say it's inappropriate or more immature, or you can just say it's poor writing. But really, at the end of the day, I think that the biggest thing is that it's just not as compelling of a story, and there's a lot of things that happen where it's just like, okay, but why?
Mm-hmm. Which I agree with you on the okay, but why for sure. So that I think jumps us, to. So the big shtick of this game was you're not just on Pandora anymore. So you have this fun little, like, Sanctuary 3 is your ship, and you go to a bunch of different planets, right? So here's I think it's a great concept, on paper, in some of its execution. Do you know what my problem with this is? Dan? Dan? Uh-oh.
Still there?
Yeah, are you still there?
Yeah, hey, do you hear me?
Yeah. So, okay, so my big problem with the planet system. Do you know what it is?
Keep going out as you're about to say it, and now the suspense is really getting to me.
Okay. Would you know what my big problem with the planet system?
Take 3.
Do you know what my big problem with the planet system is?
Is that?
Each planet's like the size of a region in Borderlands 2. So like, why are they different planets?
Yes.
Like,
No, I agree, and I feel like I don't know. Maybe this is just me, and maybe this is just I don't know some personal thing on mine. But I feel like all of the planets create such a disconnect from like the rest of the game. I don't know. The game just to me, when you're if you're playing it solo, it feels kind of lonely. Like I feel like I'm not running into familiar faces as often as I should be.
Like, so they try to... Go on.
The other thing that I think ties into that too, and I think I brought this up before, and I don't know if you necessarily agree with me or not, but I feel like the side quests in this game aren't as frequent. Like I feel like there's less side quests in this game, and that kind of bums me out a little bit because that made the world feel a little bit fuller, and I feel like this one feels a little bit emptier.
So I agree with you on there's less, and I think this is where we disagree is I think, and I originally said all of them, now I'm going to say with few exceptions, I think what's nicer though is the majority of the side quests to me feel more fleshed out, or at least feel less like a, hey, go deliver 50 things.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about that. I mean, like in the pre-sequel, it was nonsense. The quests were garbage. And I think it was because they weren't fleshed out. It was literally just like, oh, hey, go do this thing. And then, come back and turn it in. And then, oh, hey, go out this way again. And then come back here again and turn it in. So it's just like annoying stuff.
Like, that's a good example for me. So my exception to the rules are when you get later in the game and you get, like, the burger delivery stuff.
Well, and I think that's just like a way to have like reoccurring missions that you can do for money.
Reoccurring missions. I'm not a big fan of reoccurring missions to begin with. Do you know my biggest problem in this game is with reoccurring missions?
What's that?
There's no way to hide them in your quest log.
Yeah, there needs to be an ignore button.
Like Borderlands 2 had a very simple button. I could hit ignore, and then I could hit show all ignored. That's all I want. Because this way, when I'm doing stuff like tracking for the trophies, what I've done, I don't have to have a notepad next to me and go, I have done this mission.
Yeah, dude, I'm a big fan of it.
It's annoying enough, and there being recurring stuff, but tell me I've done it. Really, that's the easiest fix in the book.
And it's like Borderlands 2. I mean, it was like there was plenty of times in Borderlands 2 where I'd be like running through like a playthrough or something, and I would just ignore all these quests, and it was like, great, I don't need to think about them anymore. But I don't know. I think because these ones are so
few,
they're far enough apart. I feel like that they're at least ignorable, and I also think that the quest log in this game is not as important as it was in previous games.
That's true. I also like how you now have that hot arrow key to jump between your active quests.
And I think it also helps, again, just not having as many side quests.
Which goes to my complaint I forgot to mention when we were on the UI topic, Dan. Which apparently you didn't know this was a thing, which blows my fucking mind. Is on PlayStation you can only use the arrow keys to jump between your weapons equipped, and you're like, you could do that?
True. Yeah, that was a revolutionary one for me. I never used anything like that in the original Borderlands either, or the older Borderlands. I guess not original, but so that to me that was just like, oh yeah, I forgot this is a thing that you can do.
Well, that was my main way of doing it, so I was like, oh, that's a thing. So there's all that. So back on the planet. So I'm focusing on the big planets because you have the little side ones you'll eventually go to for the end game stuff. So the big planets are Sanctuary, Promethea, Pandora, obviously, Eden 6, and Athenas.
Methea.
Yeah. So so you start on Pandora and you eventually come back to Pandora. So I think we should start with that one. What's Pandora
And
to me?
I was really. Go ahead.
I was like, Pandora to me, it's I enjoy we were there and I enjoy we went back to it. I'm still sad like how little we saw of it.
I would agree completely. And I was really pissed, honestly, when we left it the first time, because I was like, really, that's all we're going to see of Pandora?
That's all. Pandora's also you get one of my favorite boss battles, at least like on paper, which is the Penn and Teller. Just the idea of when you figure out what it is that leads up to them, with like it being like a giant festival.
Oh my god, yeah, that is my favorite boss battle. Especially the antagonizer. I mean, really hard, but like super fun and super great.
But I also like how it's this festival of just death, and then you're like, "Where's the festival?" And you realize that you are on the festival. It just drives away.
Which is, yeah, no, that's super cool. I really like that mission a lot, and I think that one is really like Borderlands, because it's like, oh, here's this ridiculous thing with two ridiculous leaders. And yeah, the fact that it's a play on Penn and Teller is pretty great.
Also, they've just accepted their Mad Max during that mission too, which I appreciate.
Yep, chase down this gigantic vehicle with a skull in the front of it.
They're like, no, we're Mad Max, we remember. The next thing is you do Sanctuary, which... So I like the idea of Sanctuary being there. Easy to get to stuff.
Your hub, your home base, like Sanctuary and...
Yeah. Walking through it, though,
Alien, I suppose.
It is the most frustrating thing in the world to walk through.
Oh my god, yeah. It's not user friendly in terms of levels.
To me, instead of, there's like 3 levels, including that basement area. Those top 2 levels should just be 1 level, is what I feel like would at least alleviate the pressure walking through it.
Or just at least make like stairs
everywhere,
that are, like, obvious.
Right. Or you do dumb stuff like, because it's a spaceship, have like a ladder that goes from like Moxie's to Tannis. Just because it's a spaceship, you would have ladder everywhere.
I hate that, like, because I'll like be on that second level at Marcus's, and then it's like, oh, I need to go up and see Tannis, and then it's like, oh right, I gotta find this ladder and climb all the way up it, and it's just like takes me all the way around the ship, and yeah, it's super annoying.
Mm-hmm. So again, I like some of the things in Sanctuary. It's condensed in the size like physically close together. So like if it was better to get around, I think it'd be really nice to have not having to walk the 10 minutes you had to walk half the time in actual Sanctuary.
This is true.
I like the other fun thing about this, which I think now is good to mention, is all of the areas have these level objectives on them, which kind of like help to flesh out the lack of side quests or these kind of things. So it'd be like, Hammerlock has you go kill big animals. Zero wants you to kill targets. You're making a girlfriend for Claptrap. Stuff like that. I find that very interesting. Fun.
For the most part, I was a big fan of them. I thought the Typhoon logs got really old really quick. Because it was just like, there's 3 of them on every level. And some of them just like, okay, that I didn't learn. Like, there was nothing cool about that one. There's plenty of them that were just boring, and like I said, they got old. I love the Hammerlock stuff. I love the Zero stuff. And even the Claptrap ones were fun.
See, I agree. I think there was too many, especially on those. I like the idea of it, though, to like give these levels a little bit more to do.
Yeah, for sure.
I also like how they very much checkmarked it, so you know exactly what every level has. You're not wondering.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, it brought me back to places. Because it's like, I have endgame stuff. I'm trying to get all these things done. And it's like, oh, yeah, I remember this place. You're here very quickly during the main game. So now it's like, oh, I can go back and I can explore it a little bit more and see what there is to it.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're to the next planet, which would be Promethea. I
didn't like it.
What'd you say?
I didn't like Promethea.
Oh, this is funny because this is my favorite level.
It's such a cool concept. I love this major metropolitan city. Like, that theme that's super sick. But I hate the way it was laid out.
Really?
To me, it was just so I don't know. It was just really. It was just seem. I mean, it felt like a real city. It was super confusing.
I agree with you. Also, it's as long as the next planets we get to, which I didn't mind as much because I like this planet more. Also, it was very interesting because this is where I think the story lost itself a bit too. Was the moment like you go from this planet, jump to Athenas, which I assumed would be a different storyline, and then you realize they're just connected because you can jump back here, and I was like, what?
I feel like I didn't. Like, I want to go back to Athenas and do something, but there's nothing to do.
Right. Which we'll get in a second. Also, this planet to me, I think, had this twist that never got answered, which was the Zero stuff.
What Zero stuff? What do you mean?
Do you remember when Zero betrayed you that you thought, and then we were questioning because we were like, can they clone Zero's powers? And that never got answered.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it ended up being the Katagawa or whatever.
But we never got answered how he did it.
No, you're totally right. Which was like, because he was Zero. He had Zero's powers, and it was like.
And remember right after me and you were talking about like, oh, is this going to be like a fun twist? No.
No, and then it just got completely ignored. It was like, okay, well, yeah, that happened. Okay, well, go on to your next planet.
No, it's like, okay, he's evolved. Have a good day. And you're like, what?
Also wish that Reese had played a little bit larger of a part while we were there.
So Reese at least was there a decent amount, so I didn't mind that. I'm still, as we'll get to, shocked they didn't bring up Sasha or Fiona at all. Considering, like, we got Reese, and I've got his friend's name already, who both played decent roles in this game.
The Australian sounding chick?
No, the guy. Who's the bandit guy? Leads the bandits on Pandora. Vaughn.
Vaughn.
So, like, those two play decent roles. So I don't understand how you could put those two in there and not the other two main characters from the pre-sequel.
I agree. I'm really hoping that we see something in the DLCs involving them, because I think that would be a huge missed opportunity otherwise.
Because, like, it'd be one thing if no one's there or a character is there. You literally put... How the characters are divided in the pre-sequel is like Team A and Team B. You put Team A in there, how do you not put Team B in there?
Exactly. And I think arguably... Fiona and Sasha was. I think lies. I liked Fiona more than Reese, but I liked Vaughn better than everybody.
We put Reese on our Death of the Playable, so just saying.
So I'm pretty upset I didn't see Fiona.
Just to clarify there. So you have Promethea. So I enjoy it more. So we have Athenas in the middle of this Promethea thing. I like the idea of Athenas. It's a fun idea. We learn more about the Sirens. We learn more about Maya. And we're there on that planet for 10 minutes.
My God, I was so upset about that.
But this is when you have the shocking moment of Maya losing her siren powers, I believe.
Maya dies.
Oh, Maya dies. Yeah, it's Lilith, I've mentioned, loses her siren powers when as you leave Pandora, and now this is when Maya dies. Which, the other problem of this game is...
at that point... When Maya dies, it's like, that's like, you're like, oh.
This is serious.
Shit, okay, like, this game isn't messing around, like.
Who's
next, you know?
What upsets me about this, looking back now, great tensing moment, great storyboarding moments, right? They're both front-loaded in the starting third of the game.
Yep.
Which we'll get to.
That should have been.
They captured another person later who should have died.
Halfway point.
They captured a third person who ended up being a siren who should have died later, who they wouldn't kill.
Okay. I'm just gonna say this now because that happened on Pandora, so I think it's okay. To
yeah.
Now, making Tanis a siren is a cop out.
Making Tanis a siren. What happened? So I was actually not suspicious when she started projecting into him. I was like, okay, whatever. It's Tanis. She could have weird tech. The moment that you're there dealing with the giant boss guy, and all of a sudden at the end she goes, shoot the iridium tank. And the moment she said that, I went, no fucking way. Like, I just knew it.
It's such a cop-out.
Especially because all of them knew.
Why is she a siren? How is she a siren?
All of them knew is what gets me.
Just like, it just irritates me because we learned that to get the powers of a siren, you need they pass on from one siren to another. Like, the person closest to that siren gets the powers, right?
Or you could be born with them, I thought.
When the hell was she around another siren that died?
What if she was born with it? And that's why she always was the one who found the tech. Because she found all the vault tech when no one else could.
So was she just one from like
From birth.
Borderlands 2 and just nobody, and like we were just
No,
never
no.
told
I
about
think
it?
in Borderlands 1, she was a siren. Because if you look at, she was the vault researcher who was the only who got anything done.
Oh, it was, I don't know. It, like I said, I think that's just a cop out. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of that.
Especially when you
To
realize
me,
her
it-
power
like-
is just technology.
And it's like I get what you're saying. Like, okay, maybe she was one. She's always been a siren, and that would kind of make sense. Is to like, well, there's 6 sirens here, you know, always in the world. But and she always wears long sleeves, I guess. So I guess you wouldn't have noticed she had the tattoos or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. No, I think it's a cop out.
But yeah. So then, after all this, now you're on to Eden 6, which is my least favorite planet, because I've seen this environment already with, like, all of the Hammerlock stuff. Also, we're on this
This is
planet
actually my favorite planet.
we're on this planet way too long.
Okay with that because I like this planet a lot.
Way too long we're on this planet.
I think it's because it was like I really wanted to like the Hammerlock DLC in Borderlands 2.
So this gave you the option?
Yeah, this was like, hey, try it again, and I was like, okay, I'll try it again. And this one was enjoyable.
So I'm gonna ask
and
you
So I really, really like that.
The
one.
Hammerlock question I have to ask. There are 2 of them I have to ask you, okay? How do you feel that a playable character became a villain after it was a playable character, not before this time? And how do you feel about Hammerlock and his lover?
Well, let's go to the first one first. I'm not surprised that Aurelia, whatever her name was,
Ice
I'm
Queen?
not surprised she's a villain in this one because in the pre-sequel everybody was a villain except for Claptrap, kind of, and Athena.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was cool because then it's like, oh yeah, she was a DLC character in the first one, but now it's like, oh cool, she is psychopath. Like,
Yeah.
cool. I feel great about killing you now. So, yeah, I thought that one was. I'm okay with that. I like that. It was nice to see her, and it was very satisfying to kill her. And I really wasn't a fan of her in Borderlands pre-sequel, so all well and good in my book there.
Okay. Now, what was his name again? I forgot the name they gave. Sorry, Hammerlock. His first name.
Was it Winnie?
Yeah, Winnie.
Winnie. I think it was Winnie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what was the second question? I forgot.
About him and his boyfriend.
Yeah, the Jacobs dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think that's I don't know. I thought it was. I think it's cool just because they're both like these like they're like the stereotypical like manly men. You know, like, oh, we're gentlemen, we're hunters and stuff, but like we're also gay. And it's like, I think that was kind of like a slap in the face to cultural norms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean we've seen in the past that Borderlands is like
Is okay with that. Because
yeah,
I
like
think it
they're
was
super. I don't
Tina
really
had
know
something.
what's
There was a couple other stuff where they kind of alluded to.
Janie Springs and Athena,
Right.
You know, they both get married.
Janie Springs and not Athena. Yeah, you're right.
Athena.
Yeah.
Somebody else too I'm thinking of, but I don't remember it at the moment. So
But yeah, it was just a very interesting thing how they kind of dropped you like, oh. Also, this
it's cool. Like I said, beating stereotypes every day.
Mm-hmm. So like this is the part where I think.
Yeah, and people say Borderlands writing is immature. Okay.
So anyway, so this is the part of the story where I kind of look at it and go, I think there are parts on Eden 6 where it is really strong. I also think stuff like breaking out the gunsmith, finding the hidden people, like some of that stuff went on way too long.
I think my problems with the length of the game came on the next planet that we're going to talk about.
We'll get to the Jewish friend in a minute.
Great.
But yeah, so that's kind of like the stuff where I think that's my problem with it. I think it's strong, obviously dealing with the Jacob stuff. The thing that upset me is I thought the moment we went from the Mall 1/Atlas planet to this planet, that we'd just be going down the chain of planets of corporations, which real disappointed me because in my head, that would mean we'd have to go to the Torque planet. Is where my head went to that one.
Let's not get your hopes up, Mikey. I think that there's stuff in the DLC coming. At least there should be, because Torg is just as Torgy in this game as he was in Borderlands 2.
And finally,
pre-sequel, to be honest.
That's true. Finally, for the final planet, Necodefea. What is your problem with Necodefea?
Feo, and you also butchered its spelling.
You know what I meant.
Not even a PH in there. It's an F. Or a D. Where'd you get a D?
I have no clue.
Yeah, that's where I think the game gets too long.
Do you think it's... Where do you feel like it's too long here?
Like, once you meet Typhoon, or Typhon, whatever, however
Mm-hmm.
people say his name, it's just like, I get it. He's like the person you're like, he plays a really important role in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But you're just doing dumb missions with him for too long. I think it just really starts to drag.
So I agree with that. There are two things I want to point out with him though. Is I like the gun he gives you.
It's pretty cool.
The Iridian gun eats 10 Iridian, gets 10 guns, and I like his two friends that you do the side missions for.
And Grouse, I believe.
Mm-hmm. It's literally R2D2 and C3PO is what they basically are. I don't know if you caught on to that. Because literally it's the negative Nelly who can talk, and then the happy, cheerful, naive droid. We have lost Dan again. I apologize, folks. You could blame Comcast. Oh, is he back?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right. I can hear you.
I'm glad you could hear me. That's not the problem of the matter.
Well, you responded, so you can hear me now, so we're all good.
Yep. So yeah, so you have so that's Necroterra. So these are all of our planets. Other stuff I kind of wanted to talk about was I appreciated the evolution of like the team of Tina, Mordecai, and Brick. I think was a fun combo.
I'm really irritated by that.
Why? Boomtown.
I just really wanted them to be better in this story, you know?
They wanted them to matter or something.
Yeah, it's like they do like a couple of missions with everybody, and then it's like I want them to be on Sanctuary and like hanging out with the squad and stuff.
You
instead of
forgot.
just being like, hey,
I haven't decided, Dan.
I don't know.
The mission with Mordecai, where you go to the girl's birthday party, is that good writing or bad writing in that mission?
I think it's good. I enjoy it.
Well, enjoy is a
I
term
think
that I
it's a
don't think is
cool
correct.
It's kind of morbid, obviously, but I don't know. I still think it's kind of cool. I like that it you know, like that the whole time, like you can go ahead and you can like go to this dude and just be like, screw your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care if she's dead. But I also like that you can be like, well, no, like, let's have a soft side. Like, even though I'm a robot and I don't have a mouth, I'm still going to try and beat your cake-eating record.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah. Do you have, as we get to the tail end of this, any other great moments or, like, stuff in the game that you want to talk about?
I absolutely hate what they did to Maya. Sorry, Lilith, not Maya.
I was like, Maya actually I liked. Maya, I think, evolved correctly.
Oh, Maya I was fine with. But Lilith seems so, like...
Lost.
Really? Why?
Right.
They did her... She was such a cool character in Borderlands 2. And she basically became like the next Roland. I mean, she was the commander. Everybody looked up to her. And then she was like, you know what? I'm going to kill myself. Gone, dead. And it was like...
So you don't like the ending of literally... What was the final song in this credits of this game, which I couldn't handle?
That girl is on fire. It's like, screw you.
I couldn't. When that was the song, I was like... What?
Just so... I'm still upset by it. I'm like, I would have rather her died by Tyrene or something.
That to me, like, if it was like on Tyrene's death where she grabbed Lilith and took her with her, I feel like would have been angering, but like made more sense.
Or like just like have Tyrene die and have Lilith be injured and then she gets her powers back and then dies like like a hero, but like still wins. Like that would have been so much cooler than her flying into the moon and then.
So actually, that might be the next thing. How do you feel that Pandora is the Great Vault?
I have questions.
So, questions, by the way. Question 2 is, I thought we killed the Destroyer.
It's a big thing. Now, not only did we kill it, but we have evidence that Jack took its eye out.
Not only that, they also explained how it could only be killed in the mortal world, which it was in when we killed it in Borderlands 1.
Oh, okay. So now this was kind of touched on in some of the Iridian slabs.
Okay.
From what I remember, every 200 years the vault was supposed to open so that the Destroyer could feed on whoever was near it.
Right.
And so only if that was broken would like bad things start to happen. And then so when we opened the vault in Borderlands 1, then all the stuff set up for Borderlands 2, the Iridium started coming, people started going after the vaults, all that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is the thing that I had an issue with the pre-sequel about, is that at the end of Borderlands 1, we don't kill the Destroyer, we see it go back into the vault.
Okay. But, okay, then explain the Jack part to me then, where he takes its eye.
That's what I'm thinking. How did Jack get its eye? That's what I really want to know. And then, because I can understand, okay, we send the Destroyer back into the vault by defeating it, but how did Jack get its eye? Because then, if we would have killed it, then I get it. Then Jack gets it to take its eye. But if it just went back into the vault, how did Jack get its eye?
Also, what I don't understand is, okay, so there's a lot, no, but your thing is, okay, God, there's so much I don't understand. So, if we opened it then, why wasn't Pandora being destroyed at that point? Also then, so this actually answers a weird question to me also, right? Iridian didn't pop up until the vault was open in Borderlands 1. So I don't understand that.
Yeah, no, that's answered in the Iridium slabs. So, not to get like super plotty, but in the Iridium slabs, it says that if the vault is ever opened, the normal vault that the Destroyer came out of in Borderlands 1, if that vault was ever opened not like naturally every 200 years, then it would like trigger like this crazy like earth-shaking event that would force the Iridium crust that's under all of Pandora to start coming up to the surface.
But I thought in Borderlands 1 it was open naturally. In Borderlands 2 it wasn't.
No, in Borderlands 2 we didn't open the Destroyer vault. You opened the vault of the Warrior.
Okay, but I thought in Borderlands 1 it was the 200-year cycle was then, and it was open naturally.
I would honestly have to replay it because we get the vault key from in Borderlands.
No, but that's true. But I thought what it was in Tannis's research. She said, and I think the 200-year mark is now was part of her research.
Man, I don't remember, to be honest.
Unless, do you think? Because remember, you kept handing the keys to Tannis. Is there an excuse that she secretly was charging the key?
Possibly, and that's so when she was charging the key in Borderlands 1 and we took it there,
that's accelerated it. Yes.
That's an interesting thought.
And she was using her research to cover her ass.
It would kind of make sense to at least give reason why she was a siren, and it would make sense as to why the key opened the vault.
Mm-hmm. By the way, still not great writing to explain that. But at least
Well, I mean,
we've talked away.
I think we're just hypothesizing here. That's why I still think Tannis being a siren is a cop out.
Because
it's like
you could just use it to fill in every blank.
exactly. It's like so you're literally going to make us hypothesize about everything up to this point, just because it's like, hey, you know what, Tannis, she's a siren. How long? Who knows? We don't.
Is.
You don't. So deal with it.
Like there's all of that, right? And then there is the so the destroyer. When you kill a vault monster, my understanding was always that the vault was still open before the monster was killed. It's just you weren't going to get past it 'cause you'd die.
Yeah, exactly.
So then how did the destroyer come out without the vault being open?
In Borderlands 1 or 2?
3.
Yeah, sorry, 1 or 3. That's what I meant. I don't remember. I feel like it was open.
Right.
Also,
then why are we talking?
Is the Great Vault? I mean, is that like all the other vaults?
I thought it was.
Like,
I thought the Great Vault was just a big vault that Destroyer came out of.
and that's why Pandora was being ripped apart.
But what I don't understand is Lilith sacrificed herself to stop it from opening more. I thought it was already open.
I think what it was is Tyreen. This is again. I'm really stretching to try to explain this.
Because there's just holes.
Because the way that everything seems to me, the Destroyer is like this big Lovecraftian god, basically. And so when Tyreen becomes part of it, I don't think that was like the full capability of the Destroyer.
Okay.
You know? I think that it's just like, here's the Destroyer, it's not yet at full power, but when Pandora really explodes or tears itself apart, whatever, then it will fully be released from the prison, and then it'll just start eating the universe again.
Which I have many questions about. Is it a spaceship?
Really stretching to explain.
Like, is it a spaceship? I don't understand.
I'm really stretching to explain it because again, it just.
Also, in my head, I thought we'd already done a bunch of damage to Typhus. I don't understand how that key is still in one piece, but or Elpis, whatever that moon is called.
Yeah, I'm stretching. I'm really stretching to explain it, but that's just the way that I'm reasoning it in my mind, so that I'm not like, this doesn't make sense.
Oh, okay. So I think we're here, Dan, for the final 2 segments. I think first one, what we have to do is death of the playables. Here is our current list. We have Lilith, Krieg, Athena, Reese, and who are we putting as the final one?
Honestly, I'm gonna put Zane.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What?
I'm Zane, because I know it'll really piss you off, and I haven't played as the other 2 characters, so I don't really think I can say at this point.
See, I was gonna say, I don't understand the people who play Amara.
I don't know. Again, I haven't played them yet, so I don't really think I can have an opinion. I think this should be something that we revisit when we do our sequel to this one.
Okay. If we want to do that, then I think we still have to look at the 4 we have on this fun list here. And figure out, Dan, who is the worst of the playables?
You know who it is?
That's right.
It's gotta be Lilith.
I was about to say Lilith!
And it's probably just because she was in Borderlands 1, but she's just like a bad character in that game.
Like, it's funny. In my head, when you said it, it's gotta be, I thought you were gonna say Reese, and I was like, it has to be Lilith. Because in Reese, in his corresponding story, he was a badass and he mattered in the moment. Lilith, when she was playable, kinda sucked.
I mean, when she was playable, she was just a dog shit character.
So yeah. So we're gonna stick with that one then. So pending us, when we visit it, we'll come back and add our characters, see if it changes. We are saying that Lilith is the worst playable character in the Borderlands series currently.
Yep, I think that's just the way it's got to be.
Mm-hmm. So our runner-ups in no particular order are Krieg from Borderlands 2, Athena from the pre-sequel, who I'm also mad that didn't show up here for some reason. Also,
honestly, that's a whole other conversation.
Wait,
that
this
I
is
don't think we
reminds me.
have time to get into.
So we don't have Athena, and you don't have whatever her face was, who I thought was taking over for Scooter. Which,
Springs.
yeah, Springs, who is taking over for Scooter. No, apparently.
Oh, it's just Ellie kind of came in and
Said, I'm the sister, deal with it.
Okay.
And Reese, who actually somewhat enjoyed in this game.
Reese. Yeah, and I think putting Reese on this it's more just because we have to, not because we want to.
Yeah. So now, Dan, the moment of truth. Here is our current game rankings. In 4th place, Borderlands the pre-sequel. Tied for 2nd and 3rd, Borderlands / Tales for the Borderlands. And in 1st place, Borderlands 2. I think this game...
I'm going to have to say that Borderlands 2 is still my favorite.
I was going to say, this game has to be number 2.
It is. It's number 2.
Because it is a fine game. I think there are spots where it is better than Borderlands 2. I think it might actually play better than Borderlands 2. But as a complete package, even if I removed the DLC from Borderlands 2, I do not feel that Borderlands 3 is a better package.
Totally agree. Borderlands 2 is just next level in so many ways. And this game does, like you said, improve on a lot of things from Borderlands 2, but there's just other places that the game falls flat. And I think there was very few areas that Borderlands 2 fell flat. So,
or if it did,
yeah,
it never fell
2.
as flat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like Borderlands is like a 10, or sorry, Borderlands 2 is like a 10. Borderlands 3 is like an 8.5, 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's close, but it's just not quite there.
So maybe after they fix a bunch of stuff, it might get a lot closer. But unless the DLC shocks me, I will be very surprised, or I argue at some point that it is a better game than 2.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is the story. I think 2 is just an immaculate story, and the Borderlands 3 story is just not.
I think Tales' story might be stronger from a story point of view.
Yeah, but Tales is kind of its own beast,
right.
in a sense.
But my whole point though is it's not even what I would argue in the best 2 stories in the series, like that, and that doesn't help when we're trying to argue where it goes on that list.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, number 2. I think we agree.
It's sad. We both had the hopes that it would be
like
number
I said,
1.
It's not a bad game. It's just not. There's just too many things that it falls flat on where the other ones didn't, or the Borderlands 2 didn't.
Nice. So there we go. That is the Borderlands 3 show. We will be back at some point in the future to discuss happenings, post-game content, DLC, events of Borderlands 3, and the future of the series. Remember, you can follow Dan on Twitter at A God of the Run. You can follow me at Mikey_Maroney. You can follow the show at the SWW Show. SWW Show on podcast services around the globe. Dan, thank you for joining me for this fun journey throughout Pandora and the corresponding planets around it. I hope you had
good sir.
I hope you had a good time. We got to hunt some vaults, plenty of vaults apparently. We got to deal with some giant monsters. And let's all be honest, we got a little bit closer to Mr. Torque in our hearts, and that's all that matters.
The important part of any day, really.
Dan, as we end the show, I think we both know what the question I have to ask you is. Explosions?
Explosions!
This podcast was a product of the SWW Show. You can find more at the swwshow.com or facebook.com/the SWW store or twitter.com/SWW. You can find out more about Mike at Mikey_Maroney on Twitter and more about AJ at LoCBor on Twitter. Remember, new episodes come out twice a month, one focusing on the new entertainment news and one focusing on Movie Club, so new and an old movie. You can find out more again at the swwshow.com, and you can find the show on podcast services around the globe.